Hi everyone, Chef Sue here at Campus House. I'm going to show you today how to poach eggs and also how to bland some asparagus to make your Eggs Benedict springtime meal complete. So remember, we always talk about mise en place. Mise en place is that fancy French term for everything in its place. So we need our mental mise en place, and we also need our physical mise en place. So mentally, I know what my plate's going to look like. I've got my poached eggs. Chef Steve made the hollandaise. We have the Canadian bacon and the toasted English muffin. So to poach the egg, which is very simple to do, we need our distilled white wine vinegar. Okay? And we use the white wine vinegar so that the egg doesn't get discolored. Now, what if by some chance I only had apple cider vinegar? You can use that too, and the egg is just not going to be as bright white. But you know what? When it tastes delicious, people don't care. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar to my simmering pot of water. I have about 2 inches of water in here, which ends up being doing about 2 quarts of water. Now the next thing is my 1 teaspoon, okay, of salt. Okay, now the vinegar and the salt will help the egg to coagulate, because when we crack the egg, there's that white part. There's actually 2 parts. There's the yolk, there's a outer white, and then there's the white that's more loose. So our salt and our vinegar is going to help to give us a nice, firm, white part of the egg, while the yellow is still nice and creamy. This also works really well if you want to make a ramen bowl. So now I'm cracking my egg, okay, and I've got fresh chilled eggs, okay. My water is boiling, and I'm just going to stir it a little bit so I can disperse the salt. So my water is simmering. So I'm cracking my egg. Okay, I'm putting the egg in right here. You can see the water is just simmering a little bit. I'm dropping 1 egg in, cracking my next egg, lay it into the pot. Then I'm cracking my 3rd egg. And obviously you can do as many eggs. I probably wouldn't do more than 6 eggs at a time, okay? And as you see, the egg yolk, the egg white is starting to, and the white is starting to coagulate there. I'm just gonna stir it around a little bit there. And it's starting to cook, as you see. And you see how the white is actually staying nice and firmer. It's not spilling all over the place, so you have a lot of different strands in there. So poached eggs, again, are a great healthy way to eat egg. You can use them, again, for our Eggs Benedict, or you can also, again, like I said, use it for ramen, or just actually, you know, as a great protein addition for any meal that you would like to serve. So our eggs are poaching right here, as you can see. Now, sometimes I might have to adjust my heat just a little bit, which is what I'm doing here. Another great idea for Eggs Benedict, besides using Canadian bacon, is to experiment with different sausages. Use kielbasa, you could use andouille, which is the New Orleans. Now, you know I love the New Orleans style sausage. Got a little bit of kick to it. Or how about some chorizo? That would work really well with Eggs Benedict and would give it a little bit of a spice. So now our egg, as you can see, our egg now is coming together. And again, this is going to be about 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want to over poach our egg. And I've got here my plate. And again, I've got my Canadian bacon, my whole wheat English muffin. And our eggs, if you want to take a look, our eggs are just about done. I keep my water simmering here. Our eggs are just about done, and as you see, the whites have stayed really nice and firm on the outside, and nice and loose for the egg yolk on the inside. Now, part of my mise en place is having my slotted spoon so that the egg, the liquid from the egg and the water don't cause the eggs Benedict to get soggy. So I'm taking the egg out here. I'm setting it gently on top of my Canadian bacon. I've got my second egg here because I love some eggs Benedict. And there you go. There are poached eggs for our eggs Benedict. Now we're going to go into doing our asparagus. And again, with the asparagus is a great springtime vegetable. We're using asparagus again because it is springtime, and it's a great way, it's a great vegetable to have right now because it's in season, so it's a great value. You can find asparagus for $1.99 a pound. So you see here with the asparagus stem. This is the woody part of the asparagus here. So I can do it two ways. I can cut it, or I can feel it right to the part where it's not woody, and I can just snap it like that. And then of course I'm going to compost my ends. So what I'm going to do is I can use my knife here, and I can cut off the woody ends. And I can just use the asparagus just as it is, straight cut like this. Or, because I'm going through all the trouble of, not trouble, but I'm going through that, I'm making eggs Benedict for my friends and family, why don't I put a few simple little steps on it so that they would really enjoy the extra effort that goes into making the hollandaise, toasting the English muffin. And what we're going to do is a little kind of upscale trick where we're just taking a peeler and we're just going to gently peel off the ends here. Just like gently, there. And that really gives a nice touch, and it shows people that you've done a little something extra. So we're simply blanching the asparagus because we've got the richness of the hollandaise and the richness of the poached egg. So I just want my vegetable to be nice and simple. So I'm only blanching it, and I'm going to blanch it, and then I'm going to put it right on my plate. Now, if I was going to do this ahead of time, I could blanch my asparagus, and then the other side of that would be to shock it. And what I do, shocking it, would be shocking it in ice water, which stops the cooking. Then I could just reheat it later. But for our purposes today, and I'm hungry, I'm going to just blanch it off right now. So here we go, putting my asparagus in the boiling salted water, just like this, in about 2 minutes. You don't want your asparagus to get overcooked, but you'll start to see that it gets that nice bright green color. Blanching also helps to set color so that you don't get that funky green. So I've got my eggs Benedict. I'm going to have my blanched asparagus here. In just a couple minutes, it'll be nice and tender. And again, I have my tongs, okay, which is part of my mise en place. So once the water comes back to a boil, that lets me know that my vegetable is ready to take out. Because again, I don't want overcooked, mushy asparagus. So I'm going to turn off my heat right now. I'm going to take my asparagus out, and I'm going to take it out of the water. Okay, I'm just going to lay it on a towel, okay, just to get the excess water off so it doesn't go on the plate. But you see how beautiful that is? And then I'm going to put it right here on my plate. But you see, it's the little touches that make the difference. Then you have Chef Steve will show you how to make hollandaise. So there it is, a little extra effort, and you have a great brunch meal. Take care. See you later.